Alright, it's another bright day and we're here today for another edition of My Concern. And today we'll be having another guest from a telecommunication company who is going to be telling us more reason why you need to be mobile and in particular why you need to be using their products. You're going to get to know more of that person as we're going to be back from the short break. I'll be introducing my co-host who is also gonna be having an interaction with the guest in the building. So Adam and Oshmoney, we're going on the short break. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to the show, My Concern. And here in the studio today is Madam Dusuba, who is my co-host. Can you please let the audience know who is in the building, madam?
Good afternoon. My name is Dusuba Kagbo, and I'm co-host of the My Concern on Pocket TV.
And at the same time, I would like you to meet our special guest who left all his busy duty to come to the studio today, and it's no one else but Mr. Edward Pratt. Can you please introduce yourself with your titles to the people out there so that they can get to know who we've got in the studio today?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I am Edward Nelson Pratt, Head of Marketing Qcell Sierra Leone.
And today we have brought him into the studio so that we can discuss more about their product and their brand. Qcell has been a very big brand in the country and beyond Sierra Leone. And really we want you to kindly introduce the brand mainly from your part so that we can know how people can get associated with the brand.
Well, thank you very much. Well, first off, as a latent player, Qcell came into Sierra Leone in 2019, born from the idea, from a group chairman, that of Mr. Mohamed Jah, who is a successful businessman. He is a Gambian, and he sees himself as a Gambian Sierra Leonean because he did part of his schooling here in the country. He graduated from Fabre College, University of Sierra Leone many years ago, and then he went back to Gambia and then he started off small businesses. Today, Qcell is the leading mobile operator in the Gambia, and they've been there for 10 years. So he thought it fit to give back to Sierra Leone because he felt Sierra Leone is his second home and he has a lot of friends here. So he sees, before moving outside the Gambia, he sees it's as a reflex action to just come into Sierra Leone, and it's much more easier and he feels part of the family here. So he came into the country in 2019, and then we introduced the brand Qcell. We are yet to officially launch. We are using this period to be a test phase. Even the only mobile operator in the country to have been in 3 years to have presence in all 14 districts in the country. So many from the outside see it as a massive leap, and because it has never happened before within the telecommunication space, not only to come inside the country, not only to launch out the products, switch all the sites, but also covering Freetown and the district headquarter towns. And also looking at also products coming up, we're talking about 4G now. So it's a massive thing that has never...
5G now.
Well, 5G will be launched in the Gambia within the shortest possible time. That will be the very first in West Africa by Qcell. So slowly, I think in 3-4 years, Qcell has positioned itself not only to be the most affordable mobile operator in the country, but also the fastest growing mobile operator in Sierra Leone. So you're looking at when you come in late, there are a lot of disadvantages and advantages. Now the disadvantages is that you come in late by its own making, and then the advantage is that you're going to learn from the mistakes of others. Within the space, there's been others as well. That of Comion, Tigo, and then that of Smart Mobile, Intergroup, and Greenet. So you learn from them when you come into the space, and then you fine tune, you tweak, and then you come up with a band, and then you know you've learned what are the things you feel that can bring people to the brand. So when you look at Qcell, you see Salon Pride, which means, you know, it's ours, you should be proud of it. And the main and number one reason why Sierra Leoneans should be part of this brand and part of the company, Qcell, is that it's a group of young Sierra Leoneans. You've seen myself, there are many more young Sierra Leoneans. And then Salon Pride, and the company is 100% African owned. So you're looking at mobile companies within the space. It's based on group levels, and then, you know, from that of Europe and all these things, Asia. But then Qcell is African owned to move to another. Exactly.
That's wonderful. Really, I want to ask, the brand name Qcell, is there anything behind the Q? Maybe.
Yes, it's a group of companies. Born also from that of QNet. You know, he's also into IT services as well, and then he's also in the Quantum Net. You know, he's into a lot of businesses. We're also partnering with some banks. So it was born out of the desire. You know, you have also the soul of language, Sunobos, so which means it's ours. So once he started off, because he graduated in Fabe College as an engineer, so he's a born engineer, and then also he entered into the IT space and the ISP space. So that's where the Q came from, and then he thought it felt, you know, Q. So you will see Qcell, Q Money, you know, Q Power, and all this.
Now, we would like to know the products under Qcell, because now on this show we're more about the people's concern. Now, why should I be concerned about Qcell if you don't offer the product that other same telecommunication services offer? So now, what we want to know about your products. What are the list of products that Qcell offer?
So I'll start with the latest innovation, which is Q Power. In fact, Qcell. Q Power.
Can you please tell us what is Q Power?
So Q Power is Qcell's innovation with in partnership with that of EDSA. Wow. So from the comfort of your homes, you'll be able to buy EDSA top-up directly from your main recharge amount. Great. So which means no mobile money, you know, no problem for you. You don't need to have any mobile wallets. You know, from direct recharge, main balance, you'll be able to at least buy EDSA top-up, the token. So it's the latest innovation, and we are calling others to come on board. So it's also a testament of what we preach. For example, we innovate and then we inspire others to follow. So that's our main tagline, and that has been since December. That has been a flagship product, actually.
And how has it been, the response to the patronage?
We've seen, for example, to access mobile wallets is an issue, and then also in terms of ease of convenience. So you have to go down to any of the vendors for EDSA. Many times there is long queue, and then also system downtime and all these things. Yeah. If you're thinking also to go down the mobile money or wallets end, you know, within your area, it's difficult to locate your mobile money agents. And then in the area of convenience, you may be watching TV at home, or probably, you know, it's raining cats and dogs out there. You are not able to go out to get the mobile wallet. Or after 7 in the evening, it's become something now that it's difficult to access mobile wallets. Maybe the agents have run out of cash and all these things. So from the comfort of your homes, you'll be able to access. You have your credits in your phone. So you dial *363#, and then, in fact, it gives you convenience. How? We have created so many bands, starting from the minimum, which is 15,000, which means if I'm at home, let's say 2 a.m., I'm watching a movie or something, you know, the exact top-up run out, I use my credits. In fact, if I know I want to buy big for a month, but then at that moment I'll be able to at least get a minimum 15 leons will give me some amount of token.
Right.
Yes, so for the EDSA, and then in the morning I'll be able to so that comes in, that kicks into the convenience kind of thing. And then the risk factor, I'll have to, the closest EDSA area here is, I have to go down this way, so I have to also probably take a transport, the cost of the
extra money.
So that's the thing. So, but if I have that inside my phone cube, and then the convenience kind of thing is, again, one of the things you would like to hear is you can also gift somebody. For example, I've registered 5 meter numbers in my phone.
Wow, my number needs to be there.
So what happens? You own a meter here, so, and you are my loved one. So even if I'm at the farthest distance in the country, and then you happen to run out of EDSA top-up, I happen to be the only one you can reach, I'll be able to buy, because I've registered your meter on my phone. I don't need to even be carrying the EDSA meter card along with me. So it gives you that, convenience kind of thing. You can give to your loved one, your mom, dad, your loved one, and then you can, with ease, even within Freetown, outside Freetown, you'll be able to, as long as you are able to access USSD short code, and then you're good. And then it doesn't require any internet, by the way. So
wow. How will you operate without internet to do that?
So because it's embedded USSD code, so I can use a smartphone, I can use an ultra low cost handset. So let's say, for example, now EDSA they've moved outside Freetown Islands. They are in Bo, they are in also Makeni, in Kono. So let's say even if they are not in, let's say Kamakwe, I'm in Kamakwe now, but then my house, I recharge once a month. At the end of the month, I'm there, and then my family informs me you've run out of EDSA. So there, as long as there is network, as long as there's no internet, I don't need internet. So I dial *36. In accessing the short code or the USSD, you do not require internet access. So directly from your phone, you dial *363#. It pulls up the menu. In fact, you'll be able to see the already registered meter in the platform. Then you choose which one you want to buy, and then you subscribe, and immediately you receive the token. Then I can share that token with you.
So when we're talking about the beneficiaries, are they only the people in Freetown, or people beyond Freetown also benefiting from this Q Power?
Well, essentially we are partnering with EDSA. So if EDSA is not available in the village, then they don't need. No. We are accessible nationwide. Oh, okay. So if EDSA is not around in Kamakwe, there is no way they need the Q Power. Let's say EDSA has rolled out to Kamakwe. Of course, the inhabitants will get EDSA meter, and then they will need Qcell to buy tokens. So which means they have to become a Qcell subscriber. But again, I will tell you something. Even non-Qcell subscribers do benefit from this, because let's say you are, from any of the competitors, but you find it very difficult to, locate any of your, wallets agents around. What happens is that we have 18 customer care locations across the country, which I'm talking about brick and mortar, and then we have also agents selling top-up, 150 meter each, within. So you can approach them, and then a non-Qcell subscriber, you can approach them as long as they're selling top-up for Qcell. You can give them your meter number, they can register, they can buy. Immediately they will give you your token.
We're going on a short break, we'll be back. I remain Oshmoney. Alright, welcome back to the show. We're still here, and this is Madame Dusuba, and of course in the building is our special guest, Mr. Edward Pratt. So over to you.
Mr. Pratt, you mentioned about you guys being late players of the game, and I would love for you to tell me a bit of that journey. So since you've met existing people in that industry, so it might be a bit competitive for you, and of course certain disadvantages. But I want to commend you first on your success, and of course the creativity behind all these things. And I would like for you to tell me about this journey for you, because the journey strikes the creativity. So how has it been for you as Qcell being the last player? How have you been able to cope, and thrive?
Thank you very much. I mean, it's it was quite a journey, and extremely tough. Coming in within the ecosystem here, there's a lot of factors. Coming in, yes, within the space. I've been within this space for many more years, and but to bring out a new brand, particularly so in 2019, was tough. So which means there should have been a lot of cooking at the background, and then before you come out. So it's quite tough, challenging in terms of being competitive, because the existing players have set the bar high, and then also the expectation from the customers, and already customers from other networks, the expectation also was high, and so you have to also play within. Looking at also the technological advancement, because back then it was just 2G, Edge, and all these things, but a new player coming in now should be thinking of 4G and above, so which also it's costly. And why to come into the market, of course, you mentioned strategy, and as well you have to be ahead. Now we learned from the mistakes of others, and one thing to be competitive had to do with pricing, and then also in terms of the exposure, and in terms of coverage. So traditionally, once a new player comes into the market here, you concentrate on Freetown, and you'll be in Freetown for probably 2 or 3 years, and then before you move outside Freetown to the district headquarters towns. So we have Freetown, we have Bo as the second city, and then McKinney, and then beyond. So coming in was tough, so we had to look at things. How should we get people on board immediately? So we thought about also switching on all the sites, not only in Freetown, but also in the district headquarters towns. So you have in McKinney, in Bo, in Kenema, in Kono, and all this. So I said that would be the very first thing. And the second thing as well, you have to also commend the management, is that there was some injectments, some resource injected into the business to switch on the sites nationwide to be 2G and 3G enabled. So which means we boast of nationwide, or wherever we have network, 14 districts and counting, nationwide 2G and 3G, second generation and third generation. And then before we move to fourth generation, which was the 4G. So you're looking at how the rollout had been with the others. They rolled out with 2G, and then once they move, after 6 months, a year, 2 years, they will upgrade to 3G. So we did a nationwide thing. And in terms of the pricing as well, we looked at the pockets of Sierra Leoneans, because the thing is, you're coming for your subscribers, by the way. So part of the thing that was so easy for us is that we brought the would-be subscribers into one room. So because I'm here to serve the customers, had it not been for the customers, there's no way you're going to survive.
Definitely.
So,
Yes.
and
Definitely.
there's nobody's going to, you're going to say somebody's going to be born today, and then this person will just choose Qcell. You have a lot of multi-SIMers, so people have been using network, so they understand and they know exactly what they want. So we brought them into one room, and then we also took into cognizance the pocket size, the economic situation of the country, and then there was one final killer as well. We've all learned about that of the fiber. The country has invested in fiber, and then also with the help of the European Union as well and external agencies. But that fiber was lying there idly. No mobile operator tapped into that. So coming in as a latent entrance now, and then looking at people seeing a foreign company coming in, we said no, we have to also partner with the local. So first and foremost, you have to also support the government of Sierra Leone. How? If we're going to buy bandwidth or tap into that existing fiber, first and foremost, you're also contributing because you're going to pay to the government of Sierra Leone. That's one. It's going to go into the coffers. The second thing is, in terms of technology, the microwaves and the fiber is supposed to be 10 times faster than the microwave links, and it's supposed to be reliable as well. So if you were in Sierra Leone in 2019, Qcell was remembered for data. We plunged into the market, and it was data. Okay. So which means people can conveniently, speech quality, good data, speed, and then no buffering, uninterrupted data, and all these things, browsing. It was top notch. So we're seeing also with the current world, data is the new fuel.
So whilst others, they've already saturated with a lot of subscriber base.
Yes.
So of course, a lot of congestion and all these things. So you have to be smart, even though it was tough. So we came into the first few months, it was okay. But then we moved also to another problem, in terms of the things you'll see along, you'll meet along, in terms of being competitive, it's tough, to face change, to embrace change. So a lot of things started unfolding. For example, there were frequent power fiber cuts along the way, because we were the only mobile operator to tap into that, its full potential. So which means I have empowered I have empowered the farmers and then all my relatives up country, because they have access to the entire world. The same quality of service or the same speed you have in the urban area, you have also at Balamuya or right inside Guinea. So what happens? The farmers, everybody started coming on board, and then if you destroy the fiber cuts here, that will obstruct the services delivered at the last mile. So that became a problem. So sensitization problem, authorities, and all these things. So our last option was to go to micro. Yes, we had the microwave links, but when you coming in, as the latest entrants now, you've learned from the mistakes, you've engaged the subscribers. They complain, they tell you about price. I'll give you an example. So there's one product that was called Qnite. Qnite was born out of the desire when we met a group of students. So we understand, and we met not only the students, but also with the principals of the school. Yeah, so we hang heads with the principals and all these things. And one of the things we learned, it was at a period where the examination malpractices was skyrocketing, and then wherein people were frowning because they looked at the influx of mobile or smartphones, grey phones into the market as a cause, because students were becoming more relaxed, lazy to express themselves, or probably let's say broaden their horizon. So when I engaged the principals of schools, and then also we engaged the students, one thing for sure, they had challenges in conducting or probably carrying out their assignments or conducting research. So, and the time they gave me from other players was between 2 to 5 a.m. and the cost was at 5,000 old leons. So you're looking at the cost of transportation. Back then they had to be given, because students, the pocket size is minimum, it's very small. It's depending on their guardian. So if they're going to pay transportation, they're going to take out their lunch. From them, they were okay to reserve 1,000 leons, which is now 1 leon. And then the time they were looking at, because from them we learned that you have 2 shifts. So one shift is in the morning, the other shift in the afternoon. So they said 12 midnight is okay for them till 7. So that was how Qnite was born. So Qnite came about, and then we engaged them for 1,000 leons. You enjoy unlimited internet access from 12 to 7. And it became a killer. Now, it's evolved over the years. So not only students were enjoying it, even the lecturers, even the entertainment industries, the corporate
quite
world,
a lot, of course.
everybody, because it's cost effective, it's more value for money, and then for the students. So from 12 midnight, they can start engaging. See, we use also Google search engine, which is the most
which
used.
was without data you can have
for students.
I remember,
That's great.
So does that still exist?
For sure, that still exists. But of course, with that, it was based on the engagement. So we learned also in the market is many of the products are being pushed to the subscribers, down the throats of the subscribers. Now, you are in existence because of the subscribers. So I think it's high time you learn from the subscribers, build a product, be innovative. What are the needs? So once you get them, it was so easy for us to get, born ambassadors. So they became ambassadors for Qcell, and Qnite became an household name, a product, and then it's evolved. Not only students, everybody was using. So that's the thing. So we are in consult. See, we always consult the customer first before bringing out a product, and we don't see ourselves as the be all. We engage them based on the engagement. Then a product has been designed. So that was how Q Power came about as well. because you're looking at all these things, and then you look at the niche. So it was tough. So you have to be creative. And if you see from 2019 to this year, we have stayed and we've lived on the tagline: we innovate and then we inspire others to. So if you look product per product, once we release this product out, and then after a while, it will be copied from another company. That's what we want. For us, we feel at ease when we see these things. However, because the more the merrier, and we're here for all Sierra Leoneans.
Definitely.
So if we're giving something at this cost and we see another, so it's going to be who is competitive, how can you make yours better? I think in that healthy state, everybody will benefit. Lastly, with the challenges, of course, have been the regulators and all these things. You know, once you come into the market, you know, you're the last to come, you know, you meet all the things. For example, people have learned about fraud, you know, and so now you need to also codify things, probably registration. Back then, to access a SIM was easy, now it's tough.
Wow.
Yes, so because you're meeting all the challenges, impersonation, you know, and then of course the SIM registration issue. So, and with also the floor price for data and voice. You know, back then there was no floor price, so it makes it easy. Now you are in a bubble, so you have to also be super smart because you cannot charge below a certain data.
Level, yeah.
Then you cannot charge also above. And so what we're looking at, even though we are operating, but then also we have to look at the economic situation in the country. So if where you place the cost is high, and then the people, the subscribers out there will not be able to enjoy the services. So until now, we are the most affordable in the country for voice, data, and SMS. So it has been a journey, and there has been some challenges, but of course I think we've stood the test of time. Now people can see Qcell, because back then people were a bit skeptical about Qcell. Qcell will not survive 2 years. Qcell will not survive 3 years. Now as we speak, Qcell is in more areas, more locations in the country than any other mobile operator in Sierra Leone. We don't need to be in the country for 10 years. Now we are in more locations because the dream is to be in the 4 corners of the country within the shortest possible time. So today, somebody from Kamakwe, from the northwest, enjoys Qcell's network. In Balamuya, directly from the Guinea border, they'll be able to enjoy Qcell. And then also Gendema, which is just at the border with Liberia. In fact, 2 miles into Liberia, you're able to enjoy Qcell. Down Sulema, which has become an attractive tourist location now, Qcell also has presence there. So, and then the farthest as well, in talking about Koindu, which is just 3 miles to Guinea, 6 miles to that's the far east. Qcell also can boast of its network there. So, in a nutshell, there has been some challenges. Then the journey as well, it's all about being innovative. You know, we come up with something that has not been existing here in the market, and then at the same time, be customer centric.
Of course, you guys are very, very creative. And I was smiling because I remembered the Q night. We were the ones. I have a cousin, she doesn't sleep, yeah? My circle at school, like, for example, when my friend is on, I probably will be sleeping. She calls me like, you don't time, you don't time. So that's how it works. So I was one of the users. And that's very noble of you. To think for a certain segment of the subscriber, which is the student. Of course, different people could use it, but you know, having in thought that we want to provide certain service that caters to these students, that's quite noble of you. And now I want to bring you, before I talk about the access, I want to know about the visibility first. Because for me to access now the Q Power, I need to know about the Q Power. So what are the visibility protocols or promotions you have in place for these products that you have?
You know, because we are 3 years plus 4 years now in the market, and one of the things we did was the reverse. So even when people say Qcell, you're not seeing Qcell in all the tabloids. We're using also what you call the parts to represent the whole. So whenever we roll out a product, this product Q Power was rolled out in December, around about the 15th of December. So what we did was to do a first 2 weeks, 14 days sensitization, yeah? And then after which we cooled off, because we wanted to understand, because we're doing it in partnership with that of EDSA. So we wanted to understand something. And then after which we kicked off also early this month in strategic locations. So say you have high traffic locations in the country, and then within Freetown here where you have huge footfalls. So our presence was there, and then we were trying to activate subscribers. That's one. The second thing is that placement will, because it's been divided into phases. The first one, sustainable approach, strategic locations. The second one is placement. So we've targeted also high traffic locations in terms of supermarkets, any area that is using EDSA. The gas stations, we have up to 47 gas stations within and plus. Now, if you access them, you'll notice the flyer with the attendants. So not only these gas stations, but also they have mini marts within. So all of them, and then we've accessed them as well. So what we're doing, and then on a low scale, we are also targeting our subscribers through SMS, and then those that have been purchasing EDSA top up, and you would want to believe the subscription from the subscribers within the shortest possible time. And what we have in plan is, you're talking about touch points. Because we're doing this in partnership with EDSA, we don't want to leave EDSA along. So we want to carry EDSA. So we're looking at, they do not have a lot of vendors around, and then also there are POSs. So what we do, we've taken upon ourselves, all our points of sales have become access points for EDSA. That's one.
Wow.
And then we have also 27 keke buyers around. They are agents, they are roaming around. So with those ones, it's easy accessible. And then with the 17 customer care shops we have also, they are accessible. And then we have up to 5,700 agents across Freetown.
Across Freetown or across the nation?
No. I'm just talking about Freetown.
Wow, that's massive.
So outside it's close to 90 something now. Yeah, but within Freetown, because why we want to see the urban areas where it's condensed for EDSA.
Of course, yeah.
EDSA is in Bo, but then you cannot compare.
And besides, Freetown is the highest users of.
So that's why we've created
EDSA.
this traffic for them. And so in terms of access, I think we're there. You might not see the publicity you think you want to see, because we've carefully, in a smart way, do it in partnership with that of EDSA, and then we don't want to blow it away, but at the same time, touch points, for example, there's a vendor here, and then you will have EDSA, you will need EDSA, so there's an agent closer to this one. And then if you look access points as well, I've mentioned, very soon, it's a project. So, and we are now at the initial stage of the project, because the whole year, it's revenue intensive. So Qcell is acting as an aggregator for that of EDSA, by the way. So, which means we have to also be buying from EDSA on a huge scale, and then we ensure we have some buffer zone. So because if it's open, you may have to dial the star 360 and then not be able to access funds or get the token.
Yeah.
So there are so many levels, but it's a project, and then along the project, I think teams will be visiting also that of the hairdressing salons, the beauty parlors.
Wow.
Because
that's very nice.
One thing you just need to do is just spot a poll, an EDSA poll outside, and then click, this person is an EDSA consumer.
Interesting.
So, and then you become a client. Automatically you are an EDSA consumer. You buy top up, right? So you become a potential user for me.
So, Mr. Pratt, I have one more question for you. Now, how is it my concern, his concern, your concern, and our concern? So now let's say I've got a phone and I want to buy a SIM. And why is Qcell SIM or Qcell Network the best SIM for me?
Thank you very much. So first and foremost, Qcell is of Sierra Leoneans, by Sierra Leone, and the fastest growing mobile operator in the country, and the most affordable mobile operator for voice, data, and SMS. So if you ask me, a new brand, you want to associate yourself with the latest technology in the country, you should associate yourself with Qcell. a law-abiding company, you should associate yourself with Qcell.
And with that, we just want to say thank you to the Qcell family and to the consumers out there. We want to say thank you to you too. And it is of your concern to give all the patronage that you can think of to all the products of Qcell. And Qcell has come to stay, like they said, is Salon Pratt. I remain Oshmoney as we come to the end of the show today. And here is my co-host, Madame Desuba. Say tata to the people out there.
Thank you everyone for watching and stay tuned to Pocket TV.